To be perfectly honest, I don't have any strong opinions of the original Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. It's the definition of an average kid show. I can't say anything bad about it, but I can't say much good things about it either. I loved it as a kid, but now, it's just, whatever. However, when I heard the announcement of a reboot, I was pretty intrigued. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is really popular, even to this day. It's one of the most streamed preschool shows on Disney+. So it makes sense that it's getting a reboot. And I'm not gonna lie, I was really looking forward to this show. Not because I was expecting a masterpiece, but because Toodles is finally back after nearly a decade. Let's go. So, I binged the first 10 episodes on Disney+, and, holy cow, we have a lot to talk about. This show is titled, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Plus. Huh, that is such a weird title. I get that they probably didn't want to reuse the exact same name as the original, like a lot of other reboots do, cause that could be pretty confusing. But why call it Clubhouse Plus? What does the plus even mean? Is it referencing the fact that it's on Disney+? Why not call it Mickey Mouse Back to the Clubhouse or something? That aside, let's talk about the animation. The original show was made back in 2006, so with improved technology throughout nearly 2 decades, enhancing the animation shouldn't be too difficult. So, does the show manage that? Well, yes, but actually no. It's complicated. I really don't know how to feel about this new art style. In the original show, the visuals were easy on the eyes. It was still colorful enough to draw the kids' attention, but not to the point where it felt oversaturated. But in this show, everything is so much brighter and saturated. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but you know kids can handle a bit of muted colors, right? Also, the animation itself feels a bit off. It feels like they're trying too hard to be better than the original. And some of these shots just look plain cheap. During the Mousecador song, one of the gears literally pops in and out of frame. I did not edit this, that's how it is in the show. Sure, it's hard to notice, heck, not even I noticed it during my first watch, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now for the characters. In the original, everyone in the Sensational Six had pretty basic personalities. Like, really basic. Mickey is, nice. Minnie is, also nice. Daisy is, you guessed it, nice. Pluto is, the dog. And Donald and Goofy were the only ones who were allowed to have real personalities. So this reboot is a good chance to expand upon these characters and introduce more traits. They don't need to be complex, they just need to be more entertaining. So, did they pull it off? Absolutely not. Well, okay, Daisy does get a bit more characterization. In the episode, Goofy Pizza, the gang needs to smash some tomatoes to make sauce. And Daisy goes absolutely insane with those tomatoes, almost to a dangerous degree, and it's pretty entertaining. Pluto also gets a bit more character. In fact, in one episode, he straight up becomes the villain. He steals everyone's things, and runs away when they try to get them back. In the end, it turns out that he was only trying to make a bed for these kittens, but still, it's kind of refreshing to see a more antagonistic side to one of the main characters. Everyone else is pretty much the same though. Mickey and Minnie were always the most boring characters in these preschool shows, so that's really not a surprise, but it's still kind of a shame. I said this in a previous video, but it is possible to give Mickey a character outside of being the Disney mascot. Anything is possible if you try Disney Junior. Just try, please. The show also introduced a new character to the cast, Little Helper. And let me just ask, why does he exist? Well, yeah, duh. But seriously, why does he exist? What purpose does he serve in the show? Well, as his name suggests, his whole purpose is to help the characters. That's it. You do remember that the handy helpers exist, right? You know, those mechanical arms that assist the characters in everything they do. So again, why does this guy exist? And before you say, well, maybe Little Helper is like a portable handy helper, so wherever the gang goes, he can help them. Did you even watch the original? Because I did. So I can tell you that there are handy helpers all over the place. Even outside of the clubhouse. Sometimes, they appear out of the ground, the trees, heck, this even applies to this reboot. I've never seen such a pointless addition to a reboot. He was literally only made to sell toys and nothing else. You can take him out of the show entirely, and nothing would change. And now, I saved the best character for last. The man, the myth, the legend, Toodles. He's finally back, baby. As a kid, Toodles was my favorite character in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and that hasn't changed. I know his whole purpose was to give the gang their mousecatools and nothing else, but there's just something about him that really stuck with me. So, how does this show handle him? It's kind of a mixed bag. Now, in seasons 1 and 2 of the original, Toodles was just a faceless floating screen, so basically an object. But in season 3, he received a face and a voice, and it remained that way for the rest of the show. In this reboot, he still has his face, but for some reason, he doesn't talk. I know some people didn't like when Toodles talked, and even I was a bit mixed on it myself, but what gives? Was Rob Paulsen not available? If not, it shouldn't be too hard to find a replacement. But despite that, Toodles is still the best part of the show. And honestly, he's the only reason I even watched the show. If they removed him entirely, it's very unlikely that I'd even bother watching. Now, I keep calling this show a reboot, but when you look it up on Wikipedia, it says that it's a revival. But if you look on the Disney Wiki, it says that it's a reboot/revival. And that doesn't really make a lot of sense, because there is a difference between a reboot and a revival. A revival continues the original story where it left off. But a reboot basically resets everything, and builds a new continuity from scratch. So that leads to the question, is this show a reboot or a revival? On one hand, it could be a reboot, because it introduces new elements that were never mentioned in the original. For example, instead of the Mystery Mousecatool, we have the Mystery Mouse Pal, which summons a random person to come help. How would that even work? I don't even want to think about it. There's also been some changes made to the clubhouse itself. There's a swimming pool, and a new room called the Laughing Loft, where the characters hang out. Not to mention, Toodles losing his voice could be an indication that this is a reboot. But on the other hand, these changes don't really affect the show all that much. Maybe the clubhouse got updated off-screen while it was off the air. And plus, if you ignore these changes, it's still pretty much the same show. Mickey and his friends solve problems with the help of the audience, they use their mousecatools, and at the end, they do the hot dog dance. Heck, they don't even change the hot dog song. They just reused it from the original. I guess they're just trying to stay faithful to the original. Or, maybe they're just lazy. So, I'd say this is more of a revival. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Overall, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Plus is fine. It's just like the original. I have no strong opinions of it whatsoever. When more episodes come out, I'll give them a look, and who knows? If something interesting happens, I'll do another video on it. But for now, this show gets a 6 out of 10. But honestly, I'd say this is one of the better modern Disney Junior shows. But at this point, the bar for these shows are so astronomically low, that I'd take anything that isn't another bland superhero show. It's ironic that I'm saying that because, there's another superhero show coming out in just a few days that I'm gonna have to review. Classic Disney Junior, doing the bare minimum when it comes to quality entertainment. Anyways, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think of this show in the comments. And until next time, party on.